Hello and welcome to Films According to Chris Wyatt. For today's final Halloween-themed episode, we're taking a look at Insidious. Yes, I know Halloween was last Saturday, but hey, The Simpsons were able to air their Halloween specials for well over 10 years, the week after Halloween, so I'm just following suit. Oh, also, I'm going to get pretty in-depth with this review, so consider this a mild spoiler warning. Insidious is a haunted house movie released back in 2010. It was directed by James Wan and written by Leigh Whannell, the duo behind the first Saw movie and 2007's Dead Silence. The movie follows the Lambert family, a typical family who recently moved into a house in the suburbs. The father, Josh Lambert, played by Patrick Wilson, is a teacher. The mother, Renee, played by Rose Byrne, is a stay-at-home mom and song composer, and they're both raising their two sons, Dalton and Foster, played by Ty Simpkins and Andrew Astor respectively, and infant daughter, Callie. The family adjusts to their new lives in their new home, but tragedy strikes when the young Dalton inexplicably falls into a coma and won't wake up. Things only get weirder after that when it becomes clear that the family isn't alone in their house, and a number of strange spirits, entities, and creatures appear, tormenting the family and scaring the hell out of them. So the typical haunted house movie tropes are all on display here, but Insidious does include a unique twist on your typical haunted house movie. Once it's been confirmed that there are indeed malevolent spirits tormenting the Lamberts, instead of staying in that house, they move out. Yes, one frequent question viewers often ask in most haunted house movies is that, why the hell would somebody stay in a house they know is haunted? And Insidious is one of the first films to directly address that. Unfortunately, it doesn't do much good, as it turns out that it wasn't the house that was haunted, but rather Dalton himself. The young boy has the ability to astral project, or have an out-of-body experience in a spiritual realm known as the Further. He does this while sleeping, and ends up so far removed from his physical body that he's unable to return, all while his comatose physical state attracts vengeful spirits seeking life. With time running out, the Lamberts seek out psychic and supernatural expert Elise Rainier, played by Lynn Shay, and her ragtag team of ghost hunters to help find Dalton and bring him back. Okay, yeah, I admit the film's plot does bear a striking resemblance to one particular classic horror film. Yeah, the similarities to Poltergeist are pretty much unavoidable. Still, I've said it before that a film being unoriginal isn't an automatic deal-breaker, and Insidious is a good example of that. While Poltergeist was a bigger budget effects-driven horror film with the high production values expected of a film produced by Steven Spielberg, Insidious is a far more modest and lower budget affair. Instead of otherworldly monsters, grand effects, or massive spectacle, Insidious resorts to creative camera angles, dark lighting, dried ice fog, and ghosts that appear to be on loan from Disneyland's Haunted Mansion. It's about as old school as it gets, but that's where Insidious truly succeeds. The filmmaker's clear passion for old-school funhouse scares is on display, as James Wan is able to build suspense through not only creepy-looking ghosts, but also everyday mundane objects like unattended pianos, baby monitors, or open doors. Not to mention, he makes the song Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim sound even creepier than it already was. I guess in the end it just boils down to this. Director James Wan is really good at building suspense. His natural ability to build suspense and execute jump scares is totally on point. Not to mention his skill for directing actors is equally impressive. Gotta give both Wan and the game actors like Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Barbara Hershey, and Lynn Shay all credit for such dedicated and effective performances. Especially Lynn Shay, as she pretty much makes her character the most memorable and badass ghost hunter in recent memory.
Turn on the light! Leave this body now!
Between the cast, direction, and scares, the first two-thirds of this movie are pretty damn close to perfect. The final third, however, that's a little more hit and miss. It's not bad by any means, but considering just how solid the movie starts out, parts of the third act kinda fall apart. Angus Sampson and Leigh Whannell played Tucker and Specs, Elise's two paranormal investigators, and some last-minute comic relief. Their performances aren't bad, but their comedic shtick feels at odds with the rest of the film's tone and comes in a bit too late. Plus, some of the scares in the climax come off as a little more gimmicky and overwrought than others, and as effective as most of the jump scares are, by the end they go a little overboard with them. And finally, there's one thing about this film that's unavoidable. Yeah, that's one of the film's major antagonists, a demon that bears a striking resemblance to Darth Maul from Star Wars Episode 1. I don't know if the filmmakers intended to make that connection, but he totally looks like Darth Maul. Did none of the filmmakers see Star Wars before this? I mean, it doesn't ruin the movie, but I just can't find this creature that scary. Granted, if your house was haunted by a Dark Lord of the Sith, I guess that would be kind of unsettling, but I don't know, it does just take me out of the movie a bit. Well, Sith Lords aside, this is still a really good movie. Insidious is a creepy, suspenseful, and all-around memorable horror film, and definitely one of the best scary movies so far of the 21st century. You know, I actually wonder if it's possible to have an out-of-body experience. Ooh. Did it work? Oh, sweet, it worked! Check it out, I'm astral projecting! Awesome! I wonder what now? Well, that's not good. Yeah, let's not do that again.